I'll tell you what, Bear Right Trail crew is really suffering. I think the most mileage that anybody's getting out of like their Bear Right Trail t-shirt
Yeah.
is my son. He wears the thing all the time.
Well, that's good.
And he's like swimming in it too. So it's like
Yeah.
he's wearing this baggy shirt to school that like nobody has any idea what it's all about.
That's free marketing right there, man.
Yeah,
Just wearing
like
cool. Like that's the cool thing.
yeah.
It's like, yo, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, my dad will hook you up with a few, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that is kind of becoming a little bit of a vibe, by the way, is
Nice.
that like Sam's dad, or not Sam's dad, Oliver's dad, like designs like clothing in a way, because I also, the other thing I did here recently was so I'm coaching Little League Baseball. I think this has like come up on the
Yeah.
podcast before,
Oh
right?
yeah, but this is brilliant.
Yeah, it's golden stuff, right?
Great.
So the league's like a complete shit show,
Mm-hmm.
as our listeners will know.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't getting uniforms. Like uniforms weren't like, the parents are asking me like, oh, are we getting uniforms? Are we getting hats? Like, what's the name of the team?
Yeah.
And the joke it was like Radnor Little League Fall Ball 8 to 10U team number 4, 2025. Like that's the name of the team.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's really hard to cheer for.
Yes.
So I renamed the team because I didn't know when we were getting stuff. And I renamed them the Zombies.
Oh, cool.
Zombies, because I was
Here.
like, oh, it's fall ball, like
Appropriate.
do like a
Right.
Halloween theme sort of thing. And so I like made up a logo and hats and stuff like that. And I ordered all the stuff up.
Nice.
And the kids love it.
Yeah.
The only issue is that like you don't realize it until like you've named a team the Zombies, like
Yeah.
how that doesn't work for the way people cheer for baseball, right? And you're like, all right, come on, let's look alive, zombies, look undead. I don't know.
How are they playing? Are they playing like zombies?
Sometimes, I mean, they're kids, right? So they're like sort of doing
exactly.
And also I'll have this thing. I was like, kids like when they start catching fly balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll like stick their arms out
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of like run with their arms out instead of like going to athletic position. I'm like, guys, you can't be running around like zombies. And they're like, we are the zombies. Like, what are we supposed to do?
What's this guy teaching us?
Yeah. So I was like, I really I didn't think this one through very well, but they love the kits, right? They look good.
Well, yeah, but they're that. You know what though? Like at that age too, like it's also so. I mean, at that age, they're learning baseball, but they're just like they're having fun. And
Yeah.
like fall ball is like to supplement spring ball, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like this is probably more of a laid back league. I'm sure.
The thing about baseball is I didn't realize this, but it is just not laid back at all.
Mm.
It's not America's pastime.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is a bunch of like 35 to 45-year-old dads really trying to get their kids to achieve everything that they didn't.
Yeah. It's the living vicariously. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And it's hard not to get sucked into it. But anyway,
Yeah.
this is not the baseball podcast. This is the Bear Right Trail podcast. I am your host, Sam Kirk, here with my co-host, Chris Lures. And we are going to talk about some trail running. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise.
Man, it's good to be back. Like we haven't done. Well, I know you've done a few, but I haven't. I don't think I've done a pod with you for like 5 months. Maybe not that long. But
It has been a while. And,
Yeah.
quite frankly, we are closing in on a year. I know it might seem a little crazy, but we're closing in on a year because we've got JFK coming up in a month and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've got like all kinds of stuff going on here pretty
Sweet.
soon.
So we're gonna have like a big blowout, 1 year anniversary pod special. Maybe we could do. You know what we should do? And this is like easier said than done with schedule, right? With the team members. All of us are dads and have responsibilities. Obviously, would be a run parlayed into a couple beers around the fire to celebrate the 1 year. I mean, that's pie in the sky. It's not going to happen. But
well, that was my vision for the podcast.
And that still would be great. And then the Bargain Boys stole that.
I haven't listened to this one. Bargain Boys?
Oh, that's the West Virginia guys, like the Dan Green.
Okay, you know what? I've got it. Okay, I didn't know that's what they were calling themselves. Yeah. I got to go listen to that.
Caleb Bowen.
And you know what? I didn't even check to see what happened down at Hurricane.
I forget who won. But there's another guy in their crew that I think won. And I think maybe Caleb Bowen won. I don't remember.
Let's pull it up.
I would love to do that because I need to run something further than 31 miles.
Yes, you do. Well, I mean, you ran 32, so you did that.
That's on my.
I'm looking up Hurricane 100 here.
Yeah.
See if we can get it.
Dan Green's freaking hilarious. I think that dude's funny. Their whole pod, they have a good thing going, but frankly, not only being like the sponsor guy out of I don't know, Caleb Bowen. They're all really talented.
Yeah, Caleb Bowen won this year.
Okay.
In 806. So and he
806?
Yep.
That's a big time CR.
Yeah, he crushed.
Dude, 806?
Because number 2, Joshua Park, was 833, and that's the second fastest time.
Yeah, that's a CR. It was like high. It was like 850 something, and I was like, oh man, like.
Yeah, so it looks like not everybody knowed up.
Okay.
Because I thought Alex Miner was on here. Yeah. I don't see him. There was Logan Kirby. I don't know of him.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's one of the other dudes that's in their crew.
Yeah, Luke Teague, Aaron Slabach. I know him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then number 6 was female, Kareth Arnold.
I have her name too.
From Colorado. 935. Which I think that might be. Let's see if that's a CR. No, that's second. Holly Ann Swan ran 931 a couple years ago. But yeah, that is a big CR. 806. Holy effing
that's a ridiculous time.
Yeah.
Like what? That's just mind blowing. 806, and it's like what it's like the week after Labor Day in West Virginia. Like it's probably like 95 degrees and 99% humidity.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the weather was probably okay. I don't think it was bad. Remember, end of August, things were getting kind of calm around here. We were starting to have some good days. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But all that said, I mean, that's still back-to-back 4-hour 50Ks.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I don't know how fast the course is. I'd have to look at their files, but I don't think it's like lightning fast.
So I don't think it's lightning fast, but I do believe that the trails are pretty well groomed. Like without ever being there, when you first brought it up, like, hey, that would be fun to run this race. Like I was trying to find some footage here there, and there is actually some footage out there.
Okay.
And there's a group of guys that actually made these trails pretty recent, and they're from what I've seen, they're pretty well maintained and more so groomers, but I'm speaking out of turn. I don't know exactly.
The question is if they are, so I don't know whether you've noticed this, but if you run on mountain bike trails, right, you fly because they don't tend to be nearly as steep as trail running stuff. And if this stuff was created with mountain bikers in mind, then you're not going to have the same grades. You're not going to have a lot of times, things even be as tight.
Exactly.
Because you're considering handlebars and all that kind of stuff. So.
And it's and especially if they're over time, if it's years of mountain bikers, the tires and just the weight will sort of now. I guess depending. Generally, it'll start to smooth the trail out. Sometimes you'll get some ruts, but yeah, for the most part, over time, you're sort of getting a pretty nice surface.
Yeah.
For running, but
yeah, for me, I feel like it just has to do with like trail design, right? Like if you've been on like technical sections of the AT, for instance, like a lot of that stuff is not bike friendly at all.
No,
right? Like you cannot, like on some things you could bike it, but it's just not going to be any fun. So,
no.
so if trails are designed for mountain biking, they're just going to be much flowier.
Yeah.
I know that at Grindstone, which maybe we'll get into a little bit.
Well, we should do that.
Yeah, we should get into that pretty soon.
Like now. Well, all right. So Sam, finish the thought, and then let's recap the race.
Okay. Well, some of the early trails in Grindstone are clearly mountain bike trails. I mean, they're like banked.
Yeah.
You know, and you can rip that stuff.
Yeah.
Because and it's just done in a way that is way easier to navigate than you would build a trail running trail. You know, like it's like swooping around, going down, and kind of just flowing. Whereas the trail running trail would just be like, you know, just like just bomb it. You know, it's like how steep can we make it? But that's not all. That's definitely not all of Grindstone. But yeah, so we could get into that a little bit.
Yeah, recap and just give me let's get a recap of sort of like the lead up to the race, how things were leading up, how you felt leading up, and then how things went. 42. So so odd miles. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess there's a couple of different ways to tell this story. And telling it in that direction. So leading up, I think that I was trying to stay super relaxed coming into the race. I was trying to be like easy on myself, feel like, just not trying to put too much pressure on myself at any point in time, because what I guess the narrative that I was thinking of at that point in time was like, I don't want to like make it like too precious, and like that I have to perform, or I have to do this, like, and have it, like success be the, or winning this thing, like the only thing that like gave me purpose. And so along with that, I started doing less and less of my kind of core work and like strength and mobility routines. I found myself giving myself an out on a lot of workouts, speed, things like that. It was almost abnormal for me to do the full distance or over for any kind of long runs and stuff. And I kept telling myself, I'm fueling these so well. And I did feel like I was. I felt like I was really even on my fueling. I wasn't feeling like stressed at any point in time. But I think also in the back of my head, I knew I was like, well, you haven't really done anything very long. And when it's always been like time to run like an extra loop at Valley Forge or things like that, I'm always been like, you know what? You don't need to push it. You can, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. And so, but I wasn't necessarily thinking of it in a negative way at the time. And one of the big focuses I had coming into the race was making sure like I didn't overdo nutrition coming in, and I didn't like really, really try to stress myself in any way. And that I did well. I did my best to sleep. I didn't sleep super well, but I did my best. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And Sam,
and I just to interject real quick, it's sort of a funky start time. It's what
6
time
p.m.
does it start? 6.
Yeah, so it's a 6 p.m. start. So yeah, I went down there with the family and a few friends. My friend, well, they were on the podcast before, as far as crew went. And so we just tried to keep it really relaxed, but I knew going into it that I was probably the sort of ratings favorite to win the race. And that kind of got in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
And, that people probably likely knew who were competing knew who I was and, would be competing with me. And then I just anyway, the plan I had going into it was to try to go out really conservatively, stay relaxed for that first basically 60 miles was the idea, was to really try to stay relaxed and like trust that the race really wasn't happening yet. And like, if I just kept moving, I'd still be in it no matter what.
Sure.
And that was the narrative going into it. I thought that I went out pretty relaxed. I really did. Yeah. I was looking at my watch. I was, looking at my pace. People are running away from me. I'm like in, I don't know what place, 30th place, heading out. And I'm looking at my watch. The pace is slow, but I start checking my heart rate and my heart rate's up pretty good. I wasn't like really weighed down with a pack or anything like that, but my heart rate was definitely kind of up. And I was like having trouble kind of bringing it down. And I was like trying to reduce pace, but I was still like well under, like maybe a minute under what I had done 2 years previously.
Okay.
Or a minute slower per mile. And so I was like, and taking in my nutrition well, all the, doing all the things. And I felt like I was like going as slow as I could.
Yeah.
Even with that like elevated heart rate. But I think the thing I didn't recognize is like, I wasn't in the shape that I was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Like I needed to be going slower. I just needed to be going slower, and I wasn't. And I wasn't, as much as I was telling myself I was being patient, I really wasn't.
Okay.
I ended up catching up with not the leaders, but maybe, I don't know, it'd have been maybe the top 5 or 4 or 5 or something like that at the start of the main climb up to Reddish Knob. And I caught them. I went through the aid station a little bit faster. I think I might have moved into third or fourth position or something like that there. So I had worked myself up on the trails.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what position I was in, but I was hiking most of the time, but still like having trouble keeping the heart rate kind of in check. It was warm. I had ice on me, basically from the start. I had ice on me, and so I was trying to stay cool. I tried, but I felt like, and I kept it conservative. I was running with some other people. I could tell they were, so I got passed by some people. Tried to just keep everything under control. I came into 33 miles. I felt like I had run a controlled race to that point.
Right.
But I, at that, things started to just implode after that. Like my stomach started to turn, and my mentality started to go south at that point in time.
I was going to ask, like, up to that point, like, how was your sort of mental outlook? Like, you mentioned having a little bit of concern with your elevated heart rate. Like, was that playing with you a little bit? Like, was that?
Not too much.
No.
Not too much. No, it was more just like, I was like, I got to keep this. I got to keep it, really conservative.
Yeah.
And I hiked out of, up out of 33 to just like get things going. I had taken on ice again, which I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because out there, I changed my shirt. I put ice on again. I thought I was taking care of things pretty well, but I think I made the wrong choice there.
Okay.
In the night, I was warm. I was warm, and like the ice, I was like rubbing on my face and stuff like that, but it was making my back cramp. So my back was like cramping up, and so I had to take that off, and kind of was wiping on myself because I was working hard. I was sweating, it was tough out there. And then my lamp died, and I changed over lamps. So I got it sorted out, but I was getting nervous then because now I'm on my backup lamp, and I'm like starting to get a little freaked out.
Yeah.
I started like tripping a lot and almost like hugged a couple trees. then I'm trying to, this is probably, I forget what mile it is, around mile 40 or something like that. I try to, it's like I was having a little bit of nervousness about taking gels, took them, and then just started throwing up.
Wow.
So I started throwing up around mile 40, and it was trying to keep moving, but like my mentality, like it's not like I had been going for a long time without nutrition.
Yeah.
I'd been on my nutrition the whole time, but in my head, when I throwing that up, I was like, oh my God, now I'm at a deficit.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm behind. And I started, I don't know, the excuses just came pouring in, right? So when I was, running at that point in time, like it took a lot of work for me to run, just like from a mental standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And then this stuff of like, why the hell am I even doing this? My why, everything just like collapsed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It all came collapsing. I was like, if I don't want to train for this, and I don't want to do a race like this, why the hell would I want to go to Chamonix, and suffer out there, or Hard Rock go and do it in altitude? Why the hell would I want to go and do this there? Like, why can't I just go to Chamonix and like just visit?
Yeah.
Like I don't need to do this, and put my family through all this crap and and so all that started coming in, and like that nobody else cares whether I do this or not. Like, so all of this kind of happened. And then with having the nutrition, like not being able to, it was like, this is just going to destroy my legs. I'm going to be so like beat up from the running. I might as well just hike it in.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it. And so at that point, I'm like walking, like just giving up time. My core temperature starts dropping. I just like did all the wrong things, right?
Yeah.
I'm just doing all the wrong things. Should have just got myself to that aid station as quickly as I could. And, the reality of it is that like, if I had run just a good average race, I probably would have, like, not to diminish anybody else's stuff, but like I ran faster than the winning time in a tropical storm.
Yeah.
Like I should not have now, but the other thing that I didn't recognize is where my condition was because I was not in shape to run that time.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was in so much better shape 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't really accept it. I didn't accept that, like, hey, it's not just the running miles, right? It's not just that. It's like these little things. It's the core, it's the strength, it's the speed, it's the hill repeats. It's like, it's that top end stuff. Like, it all matters. It really does if you really want to compete, because I could feel it climbing. Like I was with this other guy climbing, and we had this conversation about, he's actually, he worked at James Madison University.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He's about my same age, and it's one of these funny things, right? So we're running, and we're like just talking about each other's lives and questions. Like, I know this guy had 5 kids, like several from a previous marriage, and then, the ones from this marriage, so they're like a bunch of years apart. I know that he runs the endurance sports program at JMU.
Sweet.
We're the same age, a couple different things. Like list goes on and on and on, right? Except I don't know the guy's name. I mean, I can get it from the results and figure it out, but it's like one of these things, like we never talked about what our names were. I knew where he was from. I knew like all this different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny how it's something about being like on a trail in the woods with somebody else. You have that like camaraderie that you start to share these like super personal things with them, and you just never can, because it's not like a formal, like there's no like formal introduction.
Yeah.
Like, like, hey, like I'm running next to you, but hi, like some people don't want to chat. I'm super chatty at the beginning of a race, probably way too much. I think people are probably just like, this asshole, like, shut up, dude. I'm trying to run,
Different people are different ways.
Yeah, I get way chatty. Yeah. Dang. Well, like, what are your... I mean, you mentioned, right, a couple takes is, hey, some things maybe that you wish you would have done differently. You have JFK coming up, right? You still
Yeah,
have
so
that in mind.
yeah, so I think I have some concerns about JFK because I think one of the issues with going back to a race that you've done before, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to, and I got some yellow jackets flying around me right now.
Oh no.
It's difficult to like if your why isn't strong on doing a race that you've done before and you've completed before,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
you've got pretty right before,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, I was fourth at Grindstone 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's still the fourth fastest time on the course, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got it pretty right.
Yeah.
And JFK, I have, I have a sub 6 hour finish. I have a 6:08 or whatever. So I've got a couple of good finishes there. Last time I went there, I didn't feel like I was going to better it. And that got tough for me.
Yeah.
And so I have to either figure out the mental side of it of like, why am I there if it's not
Yeah.
just to go faster than the
Yep.
last time?
Yeah.
Or I have to have myself in a place where I'm capable of doing that, which I don't
Yeah.
know whether I can get there.
Well,
I'm feeling okay right now. I mean, I don't.
4 hours of daylight, Sam. Get out and do that threshold.
Yeah. So I could go downstairs and get on the bike a little bit, but
There you go.
in any case, that has to get figured out because I think that if I'm going to a new place and a new challenge, it does
Yeah.
have some novelty to it. But that was one of the other things that got to me at Grindstone was just the fact that it's like, I've done this before. I don't got to go out there into the dark in the middle of the night, because that's the other difficulty with Grindstone. It's freaking, you start off with basically 14 hours of darkness. It's just like,
yeah, I can imagine that is very difficult to process.
yeah, it's a challenge when you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
And I tried a few times to like embrace it. Like I
Mhm.
get to a clearing, I turn off the
Mhm.
lights, I just like look
Mhm.
up at the stars and wait for a
Mhm.
few minutes. But I could never really fully just quite settle in and just enjoy it.
There's something like innate too, though, about being in the woods at night. Like I grew up in the camping and like whatever in the woods in the day and at night, and your senses become like heightened. Your like paranoia becomes a little heightened. Like it's just different at night in
Yeah.
the woods than it is in the day. You're starting like that, coupled with you knowing that you have to run like 90 more miles. You know. So like there's like a lot that plays into it mentally. Like it can be like a real mind F, like, So like I can imagine, man.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so that, for those who don't know, I DNF'd at mile 47, pulled out of that race, and went back home.
The Grindstone 47 miler, man. That's what it is,
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's this chapter of Grindstone for you,
Yeah.
You move on. So
Yeah, and so this was probably due in part to the amount of fatigue that was in my legs.
yeah.
But I was more sore after doing my like lunge matrix routine because I hadn't been doing it
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 days after Grindstone than I was after Grindstone. And I felt like that was indicative of like all the stuff that I was just like leaving behind.
Yeah.
That like I wasn't doing that work. And in reality, it was probably more because my legs were so shot from 47 miles of Grindstone.
Yeah. Yeah, but now, I mean, but like I think it's almost like more deflating if like you just don't like you had a flop and you just don't know why. Like everything lined up, and I still didn't get it done. You know the reasons, and I think it's easy for me to say, but you can take that away from the experience and the training, and utilize that in your training moving forward. So it sucks, but at least you've identified like, hey, okay, this all makes sense. You can put the pieces together,
Yeah. Yeah.
But and hey, it's you're in the thick of the fall running season in the Northeast. Like, dude, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah. The leaves are getting pretty thick already, though, man.
They are getting pretty thick. They are getting pretty thick, and yeah, thought about bringing out the Tectons, and nah, especially with these leaves, no.
I was out in the Tecton 2s today. I'm
Yeah.
giving the 3s a little rest.
Yeah.
But man, those are fun. They're so springy. I don't know that you won't like them because like if you thought the X2.
I liked them for hat because I didn't roll my ankle, but I didn't like them in other races. Anyway,
So speaking of other races, let's forget about my DNF and let's get out to your rocket around a Blue Marsh, man.
Dude, that was such a fun. It was such a fun race. I need to branch out, but like what I love about a 50K is you can still run it fast, but there's still a lot of you can still break down the race into like pieces, and there's still like you sort of have to approach the race. You can approach the race in a bunch of different ways. So there's like I just think it's sort of like a culmination of longer or ish race, right, in relation to like 100 miles, but fast enough where you can like you can go, you can fly, you can get on the horse, right?
Well, I mean, the reality is that it's like I mean, you're out there, so you would probably be in the, let's say, like 240 marathon range.
Yeah, maybe. Who
right?
knows?
So you're still talking an hour and a half longer for most 50K efforts. Like,
yeah.
And the marathon, like for the longest time, is considered like the longest kind of race that you could do.
Right.
And so 50K is long. That's a long, and especially, and I think that is one of the things where it's like, at what distance for us can we like really be like racing?
That's a great question.
Right? Because
that's a really good question.
For the most part, for us, not a chance.
No.
You can't race a whole 100K.
No, God, no. No, God, and well, I found out what my limit was, frankly, last weekend. So I got to start by saying, like, this, like, the event that Michael and Elaine put on, like, Michael Whalen and Elaine Cook, they put on such a fun event out there. This was for people who are, I don't know if we...
Yeah, we didn't say
it. The actual race. This is the Blues Cruise 50K. It's the 20th anniversary of the race. It's like just such a fun event. Similar to Hat, it's just, one distance, and they, like, 8 stations are stocked. The 8 different aid stations have different themes. It's like the same people at the same age. It's like a mini Western state. It is so fun.
Yeah.
I love the trails at Blue Marsh because you get some punchers where they'll like really kick you, but there's a lot of groomers that you can just carve through. Really, like the race I like, and so that alone makes it a great event. And then the race itself this year was awesome. The first 10 miles or so, we went out with a group of 4 of us, which was like not normal for a local 50K.
Yeah.
So I knew Michael Dixon's name coming into the race. He's like the GOAT there. Dude has won, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times in the past. He's got a ton on offer sign up, like, 40 or so, I think, a ton of results. Like, an absolute beast. He's like central Jersey, I believe, central North Jersey. The guy's just like a gazelle. So I knew he was going to be a super strong runner if he was in shape, and he was certainly in shape. And then got to run with a couple other guys. So Michael Dixon and then myself and Barrett Adams and Tim Gimple were there too. So a couple guys that I got to meet. They were track guys or road guys at least. I think marathon guys. But
yeah, this is a race that kind of actually is pretty fair to the people that might be coming from different backgrounds because it doesn't have a lot of technicality in it.
Well, absolutely. And so like I'm running and like we go out pretty hot, and Barrett and Michael sort of take off a little bit. So this, for those who don't know, this year's race was counterclockwise. Every year, the odd years it's counterclockwise, even years it's clockwise. So it was counterclockwise this year. So you start out going essentially just like north, up around 183, which there are some.
Do you start at the boat launch?
Yes, you start at the dry dock boat launch, which is the northernmost boat launch. So it starts the boat launch north of where Naked Nick would start. So there are a couple punchers to start out, and but we were moving, and I was like looking at the watch. I was like, oh yeah, okay, like we're going out hot. So I sort of like let those guys run up. They were probably no more than maybe like 50 to 100 feet ahead of me. I let them go just to sort of see what was what. And Tim was sort of running behind me. And then we got to the first aid station at mile like 4.5. And those guys stopped and I kept going. So I found myself like leading the pack. So then from there, through the real groomer section, we were running pretty quick. And I was like, all right, this is really not my, like, this isn't how I love to run 50Ks, but like it's a pretty groomed, buffed out area. Like, let's just sort of see what happens here. You know, we weren't running super fast, but we were running like sub 7s, so like in the high 6s, and you know, sustainable enough where like, okay, well, you know, it's still cool out. This is the time where, hey, we should probably put down some miles here. And got to, I believe that's is it church? Or maybe another road. But anyway, it's the road in which you would cross over like the tip of the lake, and then jump back on the trail on the other side, and then go up ski slope. And all four of us were right there up ski slope, and then we sort of start down the other side of ski slope, and I think Barrett and I sort of broke off a little bit.
There's a little technicality there, yeah.
Yeah, and excuse me, but Michael and Tim were right there. They were right there, and then like Michael faded just a little bit, but I'm like, I know what type of runner he is. Like, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there, right? So, you know, Barrett and I had some good conversation, and that lasted until about 15 and a half aid station. Or I'm sorry, before that. It was about 14. And then Michael came back to us. We didn't see Tim after that. He had a strong race, though. Really great race. I think he finished like 4 in the 14s. But at that time, it was us three running together, myself and Barrett and Michael. And we were running quick, but conservative enough where I'm like, we see this through, we're probably in like a 4:0 something. You know, with the 32 miles. Like, it's still quick. But got to about mile 15, all three of us run together, and I'm like, let me try to break the elastic. Like, is it possible? Like, it's not my style at all. But I'm like, you know what? Like, let's see if I can put a little bit of a push in, see if I can break this thing, and see if I have the legs at the end of the race to complete it. And I think I was in for about 3 miles, runnable enough where you could drop into like the mid 6:30 or 6:30 to 6:40 range. And I'm
so you've come off the ski slope descent.
The ski
you're
slope
hitting
descent.
you're hitting into, it's kind of like a mix of open running, some dirt roads, some single track, but it's pretty flat.
Yeah, well, so out of the ski slope, you still have a couple climbs that you're dropping the pace a little bit, and you still have those like real like punchers.
That's while you're in the woods. But
yes,
once you come out of the woods, yeah.
But when you come out of the woods, then you have like, yes, those sort of rolling like grass into the sort of single track. That's where I was like, okay, let me see if I can open this up a little bit. I just sort of want to see like what everybody is about here. Are we racing? Like, what's happening? And I was able to put a gap on those two guys where I didn't see them behind me. But in my head, I'm like, all right, Chris, well, you better be able to hold it.
All right, so you were dropping some mid 6s at this point.
Yeah, it was like six. I think a couple's in the 6:30s, maybe 6:40 something. I'm like, now you got to show it. Like, this is probably gonna hurt, but like you committed to it. You gotta commit to it. So after that, I'm like, I was actually getting concerned because I missed just communication miscue on my part. I had a drop bag down at what I thought was a aid station around 14 and a half, but it wasn't. It was around like 19 and a half. So I was starting to get concerned, actually. I'm like, okay, I'm opening this. I'm trying to open it up a little bit. And I'm like, shoot, now what's plan B with nutrition? That ended up getting cleared up because I did get the drop bag. I stopped real quick, got the other two handhelds, chugged some tailwinds, got everything back in the bag, and didn't see them, right? So I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of time on them. I get going. I'm probably in the aid station for 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute max. Didn't see them.
But so that's like, more time than a poop for you.
More time than a poop. Exactly. Because that came later. Well, I'll casually gloss over that. But correct. More time than a poop. So I take off then, and miles sort of start to clip away a little bit. I'm like, okay, just continue to keep it consistent. Try to relax my breathing. Try to hammer the things I can hammer, right? Hammer the runnables. Control yourself on the hills, and let gravity do the work on the descent. That was sort of my mindset is like, hey, I'm pushing at a pace where I might be able to keep this down and finish the race. And that continued probably up until about mile 29 or 30 and a half. So I did not see anybody for 15 miles. I was by myself.
Were you feeling it start to, like, at that point, like in that late 20s, were you feeling yourself slow down, or were you starting to really look back? Like, what was happening?
I was starting to hurt pretty good at mile, like, 21, 22. Like,
okay,
I was
10K into this push. Yeah.
I was paying for that push early, and I'm like, okay, just deal with it. And at that, I was really trying to control the breathing, control what I can control here, take as many gels in, and then about mile 26 or so, I was throwing up in the mouth a little bit, so I was able to take a little tailwind, but no gels. I'd take a gel and throw up in the mouth a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm heart rate pumping. Then that last aid station, coming down to the last aid station at the main boat launch off of Brownsville Road, I believe. Coming down into that, you have about between 4.5 and 5 miles left, and I'm like hurting, like I'm like willing myself to get to the finish line.
What's your pace looking like at this point in time?
So I went back and looked at it, and I'm still running in the sevens, mid to low seven. I hit a couple mid to low sevens at that point, but I'm hurting. Like I'm like, this is like,
yeah, but dude, yeah, so we're not talking about like full on collapse by any means.
Not full on collapse, but I'm starting to get the spins a little bit. You're starting to get exposed with the heat at that point. It was a hot day, and dude, I gotta give it to like Mike Dixon. I came to, and I don't know if Sam, if you can recognize this. After that aid station, the last aid station, you climb up like this, like you're sort of in the woods, but you climb up like a paved road, and so you drop down to some gravel, and you sort of gravel dipping and climbing. Yada,
is this kind of like, is that sort of the finish of Naked Nick that you're talking about now? Like sort of the end?
Not quite, almost. Yes, it's within the last 4 miles of Naked Nick.
But
right?
that same section where you're coming into, like, towards the dam.
Towards the dam, yes, exactly. So you have, before you get to the stilling basin, you come out to a very long, it is like a dam breast. It's a raised, like, soil and grass. The lake's on your left, and you have a very flat gravel surface with about 1.5 miles to go, right? Maybe 2 miles. Probably a mile and a half. And that has got to be a quarter mile. Almost a quarter mile.
But you have visibility.
But you have visibility. And
yeah.
I am dying, dude. I get to the end of that as it dips back, and I don't see anybody. And I'm like, dude, my legs are like, I'm starting to bonk here because now I'm like, I was looking, I think I was starting to creep into the 8th, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't move. I feel like each step I'm gonna throw up. I'm like, this is getting bad. It's gonna come down to it. And then you're dipping sort of up and down this gravel road, and you sort of get up to this point where you run down into a small little patch of woods. You make a hairpin left, and you climb up in front of the dam breast at the Stilling Basin. And all of a sudden, I hear footprints behind me. I'm like, there's no way that's Michael. I look behind, and he looks like a gazelle. And I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like, I am hurting so bad right now. He zips right past me, and I'm like, I just said, go get him, dude. And he's like, you're looking good. I'm thinking, like, no, you're looking good. I'm not looking good. And then,
wow.
Yeah, switch back up, and dude, it took everything for me just to take one step in front of the other, and then you get up to the top of that, and it's like road and gravel, and he's out, and I'm just trying to move. I'm just trying to move at that point, and then you sort of start to get up into this little gravel into dirt climb, and my legs were not moving. They just weren't moving. So like I had to power hike a little bit. It's embarrassing. Like I have 3/4 of a mile left, but I physically couldn't. I was done, man. I burned too many matches, like midway.
So where is the finish there at where Naked Nick's finish is, or is it up at the?
No, it's the next. Yeah, it's the next boat dock up. It's the next boat dock up. So it's on the dry road boat dock 2 or something.
So you had to keep going past there. Okay.
You had to keep going past there, and then you climb up this little hill, back down, and then up this other little hill. And I got to the top of that, and my legs locked. I was like the Tin Man. So I'm like, okay, I have a half mile, max, maybe not even a half mile. And I'm like cramping, and I can't run through this thing. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I start walking backwards down this hill. I'm walking backwards down it, and it wasn't
my god.
Well,
that's how he put on so much time on you in that brief.
He maybe a minute more. But like he the last mile and a half crushed me. But then I sort of tin manned it down to the road, and I just sort of like jogged it in some like just get me to the finish.
Oh my god.
But all that to say, it was a really cool race because the strategies were different, you know,
and you did something different than you have ever done, because I feel like you're always that person bringing up people from behind and taking names at the end. So kudos for throwing down in the middle and trying to get the separation.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. And I got the end. I'm like, I literally, usually you get to the end of a race, especially like an ultra, and you feel relief. Like I didn't feel relief for like 2 hours, you know? So I gave it everything I had. So exactly. And I appreciate that, you know, but kudos to like Michael for absolutely running a smart race, crushed it out there.
But the other thing that you could probably would recognize too is seeing how Michael ran his race. If you had gone with a conservative strategy, maybe you would have run a little faster, but you probably wouldn't have beat him.
I don't think so.
You know what I mean? Like, because you saw how he was running at the end of that race.
I've seen what he's such a strong runner that was my mindset then. Is like, hey, I have to do something here if I want a puncher's chance, because he's such a strong runner. Like if I'm running sticking with him and Barrett at that middle way, I think there's absolutely no way. There's no way I could have hung on with him. I just don't think that. So I'm like, okay, I got to do something here, and I shot my shot, as I guess David Roach would say. But he's just such a he's such a strong runner.
Yeah.
Kudos to Barrett and Tim for running their first 50Ks. Like they had solid times on a real hot year. Plus fun race, cool to mix up the race strategy, and awesome event in total, man. So it's a good day.
Well done, man.
Thanks, dude.
We gotta get you up in distance here.
I know. I know.
Or not. I mean, that was the discussion earlier, right? Like it's still 4 hours of running.
I know. I know it is. Yeah, it is.
Running for half a workday.
Exactly. Yeah. Seriously. So, well, we got, we're in the thick of it here, man. A great season to run in. Some fun racing coming up. Got to get the boys together for a night run and some beers to follow whenever we have a day.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will. It will. So I mean, what else is coming up here? I think we've got JFK as far as big races on the East Coast.
Lino in the West, right?
Yep. I know a lot of people from our area are actually headed out there this year.
Cool.
Some people using our same training trails are trying to go out there and figure it out. And I know our local pro, Zach Miller, is back in town at this point in time. Notice that on Strava. He's doing some Lancaster runs after Worlds.
I saw that.
So if there's any Zach Miller sightings, just let us know about them.
It's like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah. You know what I would love? I would love if he came out and threw down on some of the segments out here.
Oh.
It would just be fun to have Zach Miller do those, because I don't think he's ever run in Valley Forge.
I don't think so.
Or Ridley or anything like that.
Ridley.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
It would be.
I mean, that'd be great. That'd be fun to see him to tackle some of the trails, or like French Creek. I feel like he's a French Creek kind of guy,
Yeah, I could see him. Well, I mean, because he could just keep going out the horseshoe for forever and hit French Creek or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it would be cool. Just to have something else to chase. I thought about going after David Roche's Misery segment again. But I was I don't think I'm in shape to do it right now. Even to match my own PR.
Well,
I will say, I think a more impressive segment is Brian Weist's downhill segment on Misery.
No one's going to ever catch that.
He is a full 45 seconds clear, I think, on a 4-minute segment.
No one's ever going to catch that. I wouldn't even want to attempt it.
Yeah. I was talking to him about it today. I was just that. He was like, I was feeling very much on point that day. And even with that, he was like, there were thoughts going through my head of holy shit, I am this close to something really bad.
So what do you think is mile per hour was? I guess you could figure that out, right?
Yeah, because it is all the way down to it's actually a fairly long segment. It's fairly close to a mile, and it's 4 minutes.
It's insane.
But it's not what I mean by fairly close to a mile is the uphill segment is 0.6 of a mile.
Okay.
But the downhill segment goes much farther down the hill.
Gotcha.
At least another 300 meters.
Right. Makes sense.
So
yeah.
We're talking 0.9 of a mile, at the point in time. It's
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Might be more.
Yeah. I would never even want to attempt. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for me to even attempt it. I have no interest. I wouldn't get close to it, but I wouldn't even want to attempt it.
I went down it a couple of days ago, lively, we'll say, right? Faster than we would, a good bit faster than we would typically run it, just going,
Yeah.
But I was not going all out. I'm not going to lie and say that I was. But I was curious about it enough because I don't usually run the whole, that whole segment hard.
Yep.
Usually once I hit the, get down the technical section, I just kind of turn off the gas and jog through the runnable stuff because I just don't, I don't really feel like it.
Yeah.
But I kept the gas on and I was a minute and a half off of his of his 4-minute segment time.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah. And his 4 corners is still intact, right?
I think so. I know somebody went after it at some point.
Yeah. I want to run it just because I want to see it. I've never run the 4 corners.
newcomers.
You can do it again. There are some sections of it that are kind of screwed up right now, but just with like down trees and things.
Yeah.
But like for a while you could not even do it. Like they had construction going on, and you physically could not do the segment.
Yeah.
Or the route. It's a challenging route to get right.
Yeah.
When he and I were trying to throw down on that for a while, I mean, nuts thing though. Like, I have to say, I feel like the paces that I used to run on trails, I'm like, I'm never seeing this ever again. I'd go out on a trail run and I'd like my pace for the trail run would be like 7:10 pace, for the whole.
That's flying though.
And I look now, like I'm like if I see a 7 in a trail run period, I'm like, man, I'm flying. Like most of the time, it's just like 9:30 all the time.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Like, no, I know, but like that's enjoyable too. It is both enjoyable. It's enjoyable to go out and just sort of like just cruise. It's also enjoyable to go out and rip one. Like when you're on one, you can rip a trail and you can sort of carve stuff.
The reality though, it's simple.
Yeah.
Just need to do more speed work.
Yeah.
And those things will come.
Yeah, for sure.
Those rippers will come.
Yep.
You got to get to the kids, man.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. Well, Sam, this was fun. This is great.
We got both recaps in.
We're gonna do this often, right?
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, for all of our 10 to 20,000 customers, 10 to 20,000 viewers, listeners.
And that is 10 to 20,000.
Yes, not 10,000. 10.
Yes.
Or maybe that's actually probably generous. 5?
No, we're definitely over that. But
okay, well. All right, man. Well, hey, this was awesome. We'll get back to it soon here, and looking forward to this fall to rip around some trails.
All right. Well, happy trails, Chris.
Happy trails, pal.